All right, so hi everyone, and welcome to this week's product training with Blue Triangle. Today we're going to discuss how you can use Blue Triangle to be notified when your header size reaches a set threshold. So there's a variety of use cases for this, but of course the most common is going to be due to the header size limitations among web servers. There's limitations for this in browsers and also CDNs. Another great use case is if you're using a CSP and have it implemented via the response header. It's a good idea to go ahead and get this set up so as your list of domains in your CSP increases, you can monitor how big that header is getting. And if it's approaching the header size limit, obviously we'll want to look into how to get that header size increased, or if there's any trimming of other headers that we can make. But this alert is going to allow us to be notified well ahead of that time. Alright, so my name is Mark and I'm the support manager here at Blue Triangle, and I do these training sessions each week about various topics related to web performance, analytics, and ultimately how to solve problems using Blue Triangle. So let's go ahead and get started. As far as the agenda for today, we're going to just start off and discuss how we're going to accomplish this in Blue Triangle at a high level, and then we're going to actually go into the Blue Triangle portal and walk through the steps to get this set up. And then finally we'll end with a bit of Q&A toward the end. Okay, so at a high level, how are we going to do this in Blue Triangle? So the key tool we're going to use is the multi-page synthetic monitor. It's not feasible to do this in RUM and in real user monitoring, and you'll learn why in just a little bit here, but we're going to be using the multi-page synthetic monitor. Now, inside of the synthetic script for the monitor, we can use a run script command, and that command can run a custom JavaScript snippet that can determine the header size. So from there, if the header size is below our defined threshold, we can add an element to the page indicating that, indicating the same. Then we can use an assert element present command right after that run script command, and we can confirm that the header size is below the threshold. Now, if the assert element present fails, we're going to get a notification indicating the header size didn't pass the check. So hopefully that makes sense at a high level. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and walk through this live in Blue Triangle. All right, so here we are in the synthetic monitors page. You can get there in the settings under the synthetic section right here, the link at the top. So the first thing we need to do is create our synthetic script. Eventually we're going to go over here and set up our multi-step actual monitor to turn on the monitoring and the alerting. But the first thing we're going to do is go over and create a synthetic script. Okay, so we're gonna open up Catalan right now, and we're gonna run this script on the Blue Triangle website. Okay, so let's open up Catalan, and as you can see, I've already created this script. But I'm going to go ahead and create it again, so we can walk through this together. All right. Whoops. Add a new test suite, demo. Let's call it response header size script. And we're going to add a new test case. While I'm going through this, I would like to mention, if you haven't created a multi-page synthetic monitor before, we have done a good number of trainings on that. So I would recommend checking out some of those trainings we've done, and you can do that in our Help Center. And by the way, our Help Center you can get there in the question mark icon in the Blue Triangle portal up here in the top right, or you can just go there directly. It's help.bluetriangle.com. All right, so what we're going to do is just set up a super basic script. We're going to just load the Blue Triangle homepage, and then we're going to go in here and let's go to the real user monitoring page. So it doesn't even need to be a multi-step script. So let me clarify. It doesn't need to be a multi-page script, but it does need to be a multi-page synthetic monitor. And the reason for that is our multi-page synthetic monitoring uses the Selenium scripting, and that enables us to use this JavaScript that's going to allow us to capture the header size and ultimately alert us if it's too high. So I'll show you guys that JavaScript here in just a second. So I'm going to add my store command to make sure we can load this into the portal properly. Real user monitoring, and I'm gonna get rid of this. We're just gonna open the real user monitoring page. We're really not interested in testing the functionality of the web page. We just want to know what the header size is. So we'll just use an open command for there as well. Now, so we have two steps. I wanted to create two steps to show you that you can do this with as many steps as you'd like. And with each step, after we complete the step, we're going to go in and add our run script command. So I'm going to just add a wait for element present CSS equals body. And we're going to add just a brief pause here as well. So we're going to wait for the body to show up, and then we're just going to pause. And the next step is our run script command. So where is this special JavaScript? So I actually went ahead and created a help page for this that has the JavaScript on it. So here in how to configure Blue Triangle to alert on HTTP header size, if we click that, we can snag this JavaScript function here. And let me just quickly show you what's going on here. I'm going to plug it into this JavaScript editor. Yeah, and don't worry about that error right now. So what's going on here is we're actually running an XHR request. So basically we have this function check header size, and we're going to throw in the threshold in bytes for the header, and then at the bottom here we're just going to run that function with the defined header size. So what we're doing here at a high level is we're running an XHR request to the page we're on right now. So that's going to give us the request to our base domain, and from there we're able to capture our response headers. After that, we can just convert it into bytes, and then there's some fanciness going on here with some styling, and then ultimately it's going to add this element to the page, this message node, setting that inner HTML, and it's going to add that message node to the page, and the ID is basically going to be response header size check passed. So the first thing I can do here is just show you what this looks like. So let me just show you what this is going to look like. So if I were to run this, let's say I think the typical header size limit is 8K. Cool. All right, so 812 is less than the threshold of 8K. So, and that's what this this JavaScript is doing in here. Now, if I were to go in and set this check header size to a little less than that, 500 bytes, it's going to add that message above in red. And ultimately it will not add there you can see it, what it would look like. So this is nice. So you can see in the synthetic test results a screen cap, and it's very clear that it's failing here. When you copy this over to your own site, you may need to do a little tinkering with where we're adding this element to make it appear, but even if it doesn't appear, the logic is still going to work correctly to alert you when the header size is too much. All right, so this is our special JavaScript, and we're going to plug this in to our synthetic script. We're going to paste that right there. And finally, to confirm the assert element present, to confirm the header size is below the threshold, we're going to enter our assert element present command, and the target is going to be response header size check passed. Sorry, I'm going to just double check with my version above here. So this is what we have. All right, and we're essentially just going to copy the same logic to our second step. We're going to wait for element present, do a quick, for the body to show up, we'll do a quick pause. And then we'll run our JavaScript. We're going to collect the header size and add the element to the page. And finally, we're going to assert that the element is present. So I need to move this open command back up. So we can see that the header size is 8 to 12. So what I can do is set the first step to be something like, you know, we can do 8,000. We can do our 8K for the first step. Make sure that'll work, and then for the second step, we can make it below the 800 and make it fail, just for the sake of our demo here. So I'm going to go ahead and set that here. And then for the second step, we're going to, let's just set this to 100. Now I can go ahead and run this script. I'm going to save response header size script. We're going to save that. And if I hit play, we should be able to just see this happen in real time here. Yep, there was the first one. And there was the second one. So we can see that the second step failed. And it's interesting, the red did not appear. It looks like Selenium might have interrupted the, sorry, my browser's stuck over here. Anyways, yes, so we can see that the script failed, and this would trigger an alert from our synthetic monitor. So let's go ahead and take this script and plug it into Blue Triangle. Alright, so here we are back over on the synthetic scripts page. Again, we got here from the synthetic monitors, and we clicked this button here. It's also in the gear settings under the synthetic tab right here. So to create a multi-page synthetic monitor, the first thing we need to do is go ahead and create the synthetic script that we want that monitor to run. So after we're going to click create script up there, and then we can just upload that that script file from Catalan. So here we can see everything filling into the page. We have our commands listed here, and it's broken out into the home page and the real user monitoring step. I checked that box, and let's go ahead and create that. Cool. So that's our synthetic monitor. The next thing that's our synthetic script. The next thing we're going to do is create our synthetic monitor. So in the top left of the synthetic monitors page, we're going to click create multi-step real browser monitor. The first thing we're going to do is just give the monitor a name. I usually copy these things and plug them in throughout the other name options. A lot of the defaults here are going to be fine. The important thing here is we need to choose our script. So we're going to select that response header size script, and that's V1. We have that in our traffic segment here. We'll just have it run from Seattle and DC. That is fine. So here's our error tracking configuration, and this is very important because this is how we're going to be notified of the header size if it's actually too high. So we want all of the steps in the script to be possible pages to be alerted on. This timing rolling window, we'll just push this back out to an hour for the sake of this demo, and we're going to say if any of the locations at all fails at least once, go ahead and notify us. So I'm going to just set this to Mark. All right, so that is all you need to do for a basic configuration of this thing. You can go to the bottom and go ahead and click create, and that should do it. So theoretically, any minute now I should be getting an alert saying my response header size script, the second step was the header size was too high, and I can actually show you what that would look like. Now the script isn't going to, sorry, the alert isn't going to, it's not unique to a header size. So it's going to show, what it's going to show is that the script failed, and the script failed at the assert element present command. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you. All right, so this is what it would look like. Of course, we have one error, and this is when it happened. This is the alert code, and that corresponds to the assert element present command failing. This is for a monitor I had previously set up, the demo alert on response header size, but this is a kind of a preview of what the alert would look like. It'll show you your error conditions and the alert configuration here as well. So that is all I have for today's training. I'm going to go ahead and pause now, and I'm going to jump in and check the chat and the questions and see if there's anything that I can help answer for you guys. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and get started. I see a few questions here. So, hey Mark, won't the element still be on the page even if it fails? Or are you using a different ID for a failure message? Yeah, so you're exactly right. We are using a different ID, and I'll just pull up the code again quickly, and I can show you, we can look a little closer at what's going on. So after we get the header size, we're basically going to go through this if clause, or if statement rather, and check. So if the header size is below the threshold, we're going to just drop in our header size check past. That'll be the ID of the element. Now, if it's above the threshold, the ID of the element is going to be failed, and otherwise we'll just call it error. But that shouldn't happen either. So we're always going to check for the header size passing. All right. Okay, let's see. Is there a simpler way to do this with the single page monitor? Yeah, I wish there was. Right now, this is the only solution. However, I have been in a couple of discussions with our dev team about getting this data, the header size data added to our synthetic data collection by default. I can't say when that will be. It'll definitely be in the future, but so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we can use this multi-page solution, but I'll probably do another training when that time comes. And at that point, it'll be as simple as setting up an alert with the alerting metric just as the header size for synthetic data, and you'd be able to choose your monitor and any particular pages or any other filter options, just like a normal alert. All right, so it looks like that's all we have for today. Thanks everyone again so much for your time. And if you do have any more questions, we're always happy to speak offline, so feel free to reach out to us. You can reach us here at any of these email addresses. You can also just submit a request or a question in our help center at help.bluetriangle.com. And for more information about our product training, definitely check out our help center. Again, you can get there by clicking the question mark in Blue Triangle, and it's help.bluetriangle.com. And when you're there, you can click the big button for product training to look at past sessions, register for upcoming ones. All right, guys, thanks again for your time, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.